Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by MMA up-and-comer Josh Sampo. Josh, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Josh, let's go back in time a little bit to your last fight. Back in September, you fought Antonio Banuelos at Legacy FC 14. How did you feel about your performance in the fight?
I was actually really pleased. My fight camp went well. Like, everything just fell into place. The weight came off real nice. I was really pleased with the way that I performed. So, I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I was really happy with the way everything worked out.
Mm-hmm. Banuelos was definitely your biggest name opponent, probably your biggest win, but do you feel that it was your best performance?
Best performance, definitely not, but biggest win, yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
I think my best performance is yet to come, so there's, like I said, there's always room for improvement, and the best fighter that I can be has not shown up yet, so.
You have a fight coming up January 19th at CFA 9. How's training been going for that fight?
Training's been going well, man. Everything's working out pretty well so far. My workout partners are pushing me to the brink. I'm in great shape. My cardio's right where it needs to be. It's spot on. Everything's falling together. Really pleased with everything. So busy with school and stuff like that. But other than that, everything's going real well.
Is this the last week of hard training, or is some of the hard training going to carry over into early next week?
As far as like hard sparring and stuff like that, most of that's done. I think I got 1 or 2 more days of sparring before, but most of the time it's just maintain the weight coming down and just maintain my conditioning and keep getting different workouts, but pushing me a little bit too hard, probably not much anymore. Don't want to risk getting cut open or anything like that. So. Mm-hmm.
When will you arrive in Florida?
I'm assuming Thursday night. I haven't gotten my fight information yet. Waiting on that information, but I'm assuming Thursday, William Friday, fight Saturday. Mm-hmm. So,
are you going to be happy to leave the cold of Missouri for sunny South Florida?
It'll be nice. It'll be nice to have a nice little break. The weather up here really doesn't bother me that bad. I've never been to Florida, so I really don't know what to expect just from what everybody has told me how beautiful it is there. So, but I'm not down there for vacation. I'm down there to fight. So, I mean that's an afterthought after the fight. Then I'll try and enjoy it a little bit, but. Not even really thinking about that right now.
You're going to be fighting Alexis Vila. What are your thoughts about him as an opponent?
Dude, I have so much respect for the guy as far as what he's done in the wrestling world. I'm extremely honored to get this opportunity. I've been offered it before, but my coach didn't like the situation that was presented to us, and talking to a couple people that were trying to set it up, like we were getting lied to, I guess you said. They said that fight was going to be at 25. We saw it on some fight cards at 35. There's a lot of things just wasn't working together. My coach doesn't like the fact that it's in Miami, but, I told them we can't really pass up opportunities like this, big-name fighters. Of course we want to make it into the big show, but we can't do that just by fighting local guys, you know what I mean? So we have to take opportunities when they're presented to us. So I guess I kind of talked my way into this fight with my coach, but, finally got something that I want, so.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the great wrestling that Vila has. He's also got one-punch knockout power. Just curious, for this training camp, have you been able to find anybody to mimic his style?
Actually, my workout partner, his name is Alptekin Özkılıç. I wrestled with him in college. He's from Turkey, and I think that he's a better version, younger version of Vila. He hits like a brick, like a tank right now, and his wrestling is world class. I think he was on the Olympic ladder for Turkey, and he's so right there, just every day working with him already is something that mimics Vila style real hard. So plus my stand-up coaches have broken down his style. We found a few things that we can key on and hopefully exploit and take advantage of. And so I'm extremely excited. I can't wait. I mean, I think everything is kind of fell into place for me. So it's time to go do work. So
in this fight, where do you feel that you have the advantage?
I think I had the advantage if it gets in the later rounds. You know what I mean? I know that Bill he trains really hard. He's an Olympic athlete, so he knows how to train. But I think that this time just isn't in his favor right now as far as his age. I'm not saying that's a negative because he's still a lot of respect for the guy for what he's doing at his age. But I think that if it goes in the later in the 3rd and 4th rounds, that it's going to take a toll on his body, and that's where I'll be able to shine a little bit more. I also think that I have more heart than a lot of MMA fighters. Like, you're not going to see any quit from me, so you're gonna see everything that I've got from bell to bell. So that's kind of how I've been fighting, and I want to continue to fight that way.
Without revealing too much, of course, is that going to be your game plan, is to try to wear him out and go for the kill in the later rounds? Because we've seen him fade a little in his most recent fights that have gone, to the later rounds. The third round, we saw him against Luis Nogueira, Eduardo Dantas, Marcos Galval. Even though he won the Galval fight, he was, still kind of fading at the end. Is that your plan?
Yes. No, I mean, that's always, that's my style. It was when I wrestled him, too, is always to wear my opponent out, constantly trying to outwork them. But my game plan is just to hit him more than he hits me, and I'm going to be comfortable wherever the fight goes. If it stays standing, if it goes to the mat, if I'm on my back, or if he's on his back, wherever the fight goes, I'm going to be comfortable. So I'm prepared for any situation. It's just I just can't wait for them to shut the cage door as I fight. So.
As we're getting closer to the fight, what are you feeling like right now? Are you feeling nervous? Are you feeling excited? What's the feeling you have right now?
I really have no nerves. It's kind of funny. Everybody asks me that. Hey man, are you nervous? Are you excited? I'm extremely excited. I know you normally don't get nervous until I'm actually walking to the cage, but I turn my butt off. If I go in there and do what I know that I can do, then I have nothing to be scared of, nothing to hang my head about, And that's the awesome thing. On paper, yeah, everything's in his favor, but that's why we fight, right? If everything was based on paper, then, you wouldn't have some of these awesome upsets and these great, fight of the years and stuff like that. But, so I can't wait. To get in the cage and fight with this guy is what I'm training for, and that's what I'm leading up to, and I can't wait for that to happen. So.
You're going to be fighting in his hometown. First, is this something new to you? Have you fought some fighters in their hometown before? And second, how do you feel about going into enemy territory?
I think I fight better when everything's stacked against me. I think it completes me, put me even further back as an underdog, because if it goes to the judges' scorecards, I highly doubt that it's going to end in my favor. So, I have to either submit him or knock him out, or just be extremely convincing, make it a completely one-sided fight to where, the judges have no choice. But, I hope it doesn't go to the judges. I'm going to fight my hardest, but the cookie's going to crumble however it crumbles. I think that it works against me being in his backyard, but I don't think it affects me. If it does anything, it boosts the way that I fight, because I know that everything's going against me. So I guess I fight a little bit harder when I'm in enemy territory, but it doesn't faze me as far as mental view of it or anything like that.
You fought good guys in the past before, Antonio Benuelos, Will Capizano, a couple of UFC veterans right there. How much do you feel that Vila is a step up in competition from those guys and other guys that you've fought before?
I think he's got heavier hands in both of them, from what I've seen. But we're going to test that out on Saturday. His wrestling credentials are way through the roof on this. I wish I could get him on the phone and talk to him and have him put his bronze medal up from the Olympics. It'd be something that'd be pretty cool to fight for. But I think that he's got experience. Not as far as fight wise goes, but he's got experience as far as high level competition. The big crowds, all that kind of thing. He's got that on his side, and he's a wise old cat. He knows how to fight correctly and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of tools that I'm not trying to say that I'm worried about, but I respect what he's got, and I see what he's got. I ain't looking past anything that is Alexis Vila. So.
You're obviously a good wrestler in your own right, but what worries you more, his hands or his wrestling?
Honestly, neither. I've seen high-class level wrestling. He's got heavy hands, but I don't see him being extremely disciplined with them. He throws them hard, throws them heavy, but he's not an extremely precision boxer. He did knock out Joe Warren, but Joe Warren's not the best, one of the higher level strikers either. He didn't have his hands up, things like that. I'm not trying to take anything away from either of them, but that wasn't the most technical fight either. If he does lack anything, I say it would be technique with his punches, but he throws some mad power behind him. So if it lands, it's gonna hurt. So I think that's the only thing that works against him is his technique in that. But I'm pretty sure he's probably been working on that as well.
Is this a multiple fight deal with CFA, or are they, kind of sitting back and waiting to see what happens on January 19th before they offer you, a long-term deal?
The way that I read the contract was if I win the title, then it rolls over into a multi-fight contract. So that I have to. So pretty much, I'm fighting for a contract is what I'm doing here. It's also got a UFC clause in it as well. So if the UFC calls at any time, I think we can get out of contract. So, but so right now it's just one fight at a time. Even if it was a 5-fight or 10-fight contract, it's always one fight at a time. So, it's good things. I'm excited. I can't wait for it to go down.
should you beat Alexis Vila, you'll be the CFA flyweight champion. If you win, will it be your first title bout, or do you have others?
Yeah, this is my first title bout as a professional. I've fought a few times as an amateur, but those fights were definitely not 5-minute rounds. You know, they weren't. The level of competition was nowhere near where it's at. So yeah, this is my first high level, multiple 5-round, 5-minute fights. So it's going to be interesting. I keep saying it, but I just cannot wait for the 19th to get here.
Mm. I'm just curious, Josh. How did you get your nickname, the Gremlin?
Well, I guess if you're down at the show and you meet me, you'll kind of see that my ears have gotten rather large thanks to wrestling. Not as far as cauliflower goes, but they stick out a little bit further than I think they're supposed to. But just my grappling and wrestling style, I was actually rolling with one of my teammates that I actually wrestled with, and somehow I ended up on his back, and I was trying to choke him, and he was defending really, really well. And of course I had my mouthpiece in, but then I started biting his ear to keep him from getting hand control. And when he lets go of my hand to grab my face or to kind of cover his ear, I slipped the choke in, and after he tapped or whatever and got out of it, then he just started calling me the Gremlin, and it just kind of stuck. So I'm a big believer of you don't get to choose your own nicknames. It's something that your teammates and friends should do. So I guess I like it. It kind of fits me, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You're 8-2 as a pro mixed martial artist. Your 2 losses. Your first one was to Mike French, and your second loss was to Will Capizano. What did you learn from those 2 losses?
Let's see. Well, against Mike French, I learned that I've got to show up and fight the whole fight. When I'm not comfortable in a position, or I need to know when to, not to necessarily bail on a position, but know when I just need to get back to my feet and fight from a better position. Against Will Capizano, I slipped up for a split second. From what I've been told by multiple people, I was dominating that fight, and then I took a half shot or a telegraphed double leg and caught a knee. But I learned that I have to fight for the entire round. I can't ease up, but I also have to be strategic and smart. I can't just kind of rush into positions either. So it made me a smarter fighter. Yeah, it kind of sucks to put the blemish on the record, but I think I learned more from those losses about myself and about the caliber of people that I can compete with. And so I think I really benefit a lot more from those losses than I do from some of those high-level wins.
Right now, you're one of the top guys outside the UFC. Should you win this fight, do you think you've done enough to get a call from the UFC?
We'll find out. If Dana or the matchmaker, whoever they are, if they pick up the phone and call my number, then I definitely did enough. But until then, I'm just going to keep taking the big fights until I do get that phone call. That was one of the main issues that me and my coach talked about. Is when it comes to things like the big show, I'm tired of sitting around and waiting. Because we could be waiting for another 5-6 years for a call from the UFC. I said, Mike, let's go down. Let's put on a good fight. Let's have that chance of beating Alexis Vila and have them kicking our door in. I think that's if we beat Vila, I think that's going to be a big a big banner over our head saying, hey, this guy needs to be fighting some of our top level UFC fighters. So I'm hoping that it does it, but if it doesn't, that's not on me. All I can do is show up and fight my butt off, and hopefully the right people catch wind of it. The right people see the fight and they see what they want to see. And then they want to get me in the big show. So that's all I can do is just show up and perform.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people believe, should you get this win, that you will find your way there. And a lot of people believe that in this fight, you really have nothing to lose, everything to gain. But, with this possibly UFC thing looming in the background, do you feel some pressure in this fight?
Like they say, I have zero pressure on my shoulders. If I beat Vila, awesome, that's great. If I lose to him, he's a high-level fighter. I mean, he's a good guy. At this level, the top level of the flyweights, there's very, very little room for error. You know what I mean? Every one of them, if you look at them, they all have losses, 1 or 2 losses. Some even 3 or 4. I think John Dotson's got 5 or 6 losses. So it happens. It doesn't mean that we're not entertaining fighters. It just means that we have tough, strict competition. So I think I have nothing to lose in this fight, and that's probably another very powerful tool that I have in my back pocket. And I think it makes me more dangerous because I have nothing at risk here. You know what I mean? I'm always going to get better. Even if I go down to Miami, put on an awesome fight, give it everything I got, and it doesn't come out in my favor, I still think that the right people will see the fight. I will learn a lot from it, knowing that I can go 5 hard rounds, and hopefully that will still get me in the UFC, regardless if it's a W or an L. You know what I mean? So I got nothing to lose. It's actually a really good situation to be in. So.
Mm-hmm. Is visualization a key part of your training? And if so, how have you envisioned the fight ending?
You just try to use a scientific way to ask me the outcome.
Yes, I did.
It's a nice strategy there, but I hate when people do predictions. I really hate predictions. All I can guarantee is that you're going to see me show up and fight as hard as I can for as long as the fight goes. So I have envisioned every situation possible for me being on my back, for me taking him down, you know what I mean, for me getting my hand raised, everything. So I'm prepared for any possible scenario that could occur, and let's just hope the right one does. But in the end, it's not up to me. It's up to it is up to me to fight hard, but how the cookie crumbles, if I slip that right punch and catch him and knock him out, that'd be great. But if I flip the punch and land right into a choke, then I end it by submission. Or if it goes to the distance and I edge him out, it could end any different way. But all I can guarantee, like I said, is that I'm going to give it 5 hard balls of the wall rounds. So.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Josh, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you would like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
I just want to say thanks to everybody who supports and keeps us little guys on their TV and watching us. I want to thank St. Charles Mixed Martial Arts, Altec and Oskolich, my workout partner, Mike Rogers, Matt Ricehouse, all my teammates that helped push me to get there. Thank you, CFA, for giving me this opportunity, and I can't wait to come down to Miami and drink a mojito after the fight. So,
Josh, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck January 19th at CFA 9 against Alexis Vila.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show.